Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Have you guys seen developments over the last couple days? Because they're absolutely mocking us. Now, look, I know I don't need to tell you guys that the XRP community is the most attacked community in all of crypto. And for understandable reasons, XRP just works. It's a chain that right out of the box, it always has just done the thing that it was supposed to do. It's the best coin on the planet for payments, just broadly speaking. It does what Bitcoin can't. I understand why people in other communities are sour and irrational towards us. I understand why they suffer from the affliction known as XRP derangement syndrome. Of course, toxic Bitcoin maximalists have despised our community since inception. They've tried to shut it down. They've tried to pay people to spread lies about XRP in the earliest of days. That's proof. That's been proven that they absolutely did that. And then more recently, you've had other communities like Chainlink attacking the XRP community. You've had Litecoin come out of the woodworks on social media platform X, saying all sorts of vile things about XRP, absolutely trolling. And now you have the brand new one, Solana, jumping in for fun. The official Solana account on X absolutely piling on. And I think it's as a result of this fake story from Cointelegraph, which is supposed to be one of the most trusted, one of the most respectable crypto media outlets that in existence. They're one of the oldest ones, certainly. But this is what's on your screen right now. This is actual fake news. It's titled, XRP needs a Solana-style strategy to keep up, Ripple executive. Oh, that's right. A Ripple executive said that XRP needs a Solana-style strategy just to keep up. Is that real life? Well, the answer is no, and I'm going to prove it because it's ridiculous and it needs to be said. And then I'm going to highlight that the official Solana account is absolutely jumping in, and to me it seems very obvious they're mocking us. Nothing terribly ruthless. It's not like my feels are hurt. I think it's funny. I've come to expect that. I'm just covering this, so I'm not taking the angle of woe is me and it's so unfair how they treat us. No, I don't care. They can be complete and utter dipshits. It doesn't matter to me. It's just more proof that XRP is a threat to these people. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Okay, so let's read just a little bit of this piece. I don't need to read the whole thing. But again, it's from Cointelegraph from just a couple days ago, December 8th, 2025. And it's titled, XRP needs a Solana-style strategy to keep up, Ripple executive. Luke Judges, global partner success lead and director of Ripple, shared observations about the evolving XRP ledger ecosystem and its competitive landscape, highlighting a clear parallel to the operational success of rival Layer 1 network Solana. Drawing on his prior experience in the Solana network managing a substantial validator, Judges suggested that technical superiority alone is not enough to secure a network's long-term relevance. So what actually happened here? Well, you can see this post the same day. This is from Luke Judges. This is the Ripple employees account. Here you can see Global Partner Success Lead at Ripple. That's the Ripple employees account. And he wrote, I've quite literally never said any of those things or ever spoken to Cointelegraph. Now he's replying to a post that was deleted. What was the post that was deleted? Well, thankfully, it was shared by my fellow XRP YouTuber, Crypto Insight UK. The deleted post came from Marty Party. What a fun name. And here's what he wrote. This is what Marty Party wrote, which is now deleted. He wrote, Ripple executive calls for XRP to adopt Solana-style strategy for long-term edge. A Ripple executive has sparked fresh debate in the crypto community by arguing that XRP and the XRP ledger need to borrow elements from Solana's playbook to stay competitive. In a December 8th, 2025 Cointelegraph interview, Luke Judges, Ripple's global partner success lead, emphasized that while XRP ledger boasts superior reliability and institutional focus, it risks falling behind without faster execution and developer-friendly tactics hallmarks of Solana's rise. And so that was not true. He should not have written that. And Luke Judges responded to that again, and he wrote, I've quite literally never said any of those things. So what Marty Party is asserting Luke Judges said, he's saying, nope, didn't say it. He says, I've quite literally never said any of those things or ever spoken to Cointelegraph. Yet there's an article, so what's actually going on here? Marty Party responded to Luke Judges here, and shared a snippet of the Cointelegraph article. It's on your screen there, and I'll show you. Here it is, right here on their website. This is the Cointelegraph website. This is the party's highlighting. This is a key takeaway. It's the number one bullet point in this article, which reads as follows from Cointelegraph. Luke Judges states that technical strength alone cannot guarantee long-term competitiveness, suggesting that XRP could benefit from Solana's pragmatism and execution speed. So even today, Cointelegraph is asserting that Luke Judges stated that. The problem is he didn't. Marty Party asked Luke Judges, "Was this fabricated? Love to know your side." Luke Judges responded, 100% false. The only tweet I've ever made on this subject is the below, which got picked up by a few media outlets, but not intentionally. I've never spoken to any media outlets on the topic. Point is, there's a lot we can learn from all chains. Solana and Ethereum are two of those. And so Luke Judges is saying, no, what Cointelegraph is reporting is right there. That is 100% false. They absolutely fabricated it. It is still live on their website. So I wanted to let you know, Cointelegraph, they're just acting like sacks of shit. Absolutely making up stuff, totally fabricated. That is disgusting. Why are they doing this? You tell me, folks. So what was what he actually highlighted? And they did share this in the article later on, but let me read this to you. So this is the post from Luke Judges from November 29th of this year. I'm going to read this to you. And then I'm going to go back to the Cointelegraph article, and I'm going to highlight the title of the article, and you tell me if that's the right title for the article. So here's what Luke Judges actually said. And this, again, is the only post where Luke Judges has said anything about Solana, right? November 29th this year. Most XRP folks probs assume I'd hate Solana now that I'm at Ripple. Truth is, a lot of the newer crowd doesn't know I built 2 startups in the Solana ecosystem and ran a validator with greater than $30 million staked. Living through the ride from $200, $8 back up earns real trust. Solana's far from perfect. Validator count is dropping fast right now, but it has pragmatism and speed that XRP and every other layer 1 can learn from. No point burying your head in the sand pretending you're the only chain in town. We're already seeing the Ethereum Foundation be much more focused in their GTM as they lost some lunch. Okay, so he's clearly not a maximalist, and I appreciate that because I'm not either. I'm biased. XRP is my favorite coin. It's my largest holding, but I am not a maximalist. I hold tons of different altcoins. I want the entire ecosystem to do well in crypto land. So that's what he actually said. What was the title, though, from Cointelegraph? XRP needs a Solana-style strategy to keep up, Ripple executive. And they cited that post. How do you read that and then come up with the headline indicating that this Ripple executive says XRP needs a Solana-style strategy to keep up? He did not say that. In fact, if anything, you know what? This would be an interesting headline. Solana's far from perfect. Validator count is dropping fast right now. Ripple executive. Why wouldn't that be the headline? Well, but the answer is because Cointelegraph wants to crap all over XRP and Ripple and everybody in the XRP community. Of course, that's what they're doing. They've been fudding XRP for over a decade now. It's totally stupid. And so as far as what Luke wrote here, he said, but it has pragmatism, referencing Solana, it has pragmatism and speed that XRP and every other layer 1 can learn from. Well, I don't know 100% what he was thinking when he wrote that, Luke Judges. The XRP ledger, if you're talking in terms of settlement time, XRP is faster than Solana, and that's not up for debate. That's an actual fact. It settles faster than Solana. But if he's talking about the real world application of that, maybe he has something specific in mind, and that can be good for XRP and every other chain, that's reasonable. So I'm not saying that he's right or wrong. I'm just noting facts. Like XRP is faster. I don't think that Luke Judges is disputing that. He's like, oh, XRP, it's slower than Solana. Man, we could really learn a thing or two from Solana. Like, he's not saying that. He's obviously not saying that. He says pragmatism and speed that XRP can learn from it and every other layer 1. Okay, maybe he's talking about the application of it. Either way, the takeaway from this is not that XRP needs a Solana-style strategy to keep up. You frickin' dipshits over at Cointelegraph. What the hell is actually wrong with you? That is messed up. And then you have Solana jumping in. They're actually jumping in here. They just typed, so after this article went live, they simply wrote 589. Which I gotta tell you, like, I think it's hilarious. And yes, this is the real Solana account. 3.6 million followers. My God. This is real life, folks. This is real life. Oh my God. So I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad. I'm not even disappointed, actually. I mean, like, what's that, Baxter? You ate an entire wheel of cheese? Like, I'm not even disappointed. I'm not even mad at that. Like, it's funny, and I'm just going to assume if you're watching this that you know the 589 reference in the XRP community. If you're brand new, you might not, in which case it's too far outside the scope of this video for me to go in any great detail. Just Google XRP 589 and just research the origins of that, and you can find it. But, I mean, in a nutshell, it's this guy named, what was the guy's name? Bearable Guy 123, I believe. This account on X back in the day, well, then it was Twitter, was stating that he had inside information, as I'm paraphrasing here basically, but he had inside info, and the price of XRP was going to rocket to $589. And then it just stuck, and it's stupid, it's a meme. But if you want more details, just Google that. And so they're obviously trolling there. There's the the Cointelegraph article. Right after that, they post this 589. They're just mocking us, and it's hilarious. So then Vet responded to the Solana account. He's an XRP Ledger DUNL validator, and he simply wrote to Solana and said, "Cultural appropriation," which I think is the funniest damn response that there possibly could be. Cultural appropriation. It's all our culture as the XRP community. And then Solana's playing dumb, and they simply wrote question mark, which is also kind of funny. Like, it is fun. Like, it's definitely, subjectively, this is fun. It just is. But then you also get this. You get this post. This one's actually more funny. This is from December 9th in the morning. They simply wrote, "Time to flip the switch," which is obviously an overused phrase within the XRP community. There's no denying that. And a lot of people have had silly ideas about the flip the switch moment where you flip it and then XRP is going to go to the moon because of the implementation of XRP and various traditional finance rails that are overtaking, Swift, this and that. And it was always nonsense. That's not how this works. XRP is well suited to become a key part of, it's already a part of it, but to increasingly become a key part of traditional finance, because there's that merging of crypto and traditional finance that continues to happen. So XRP is a bridge currency, a number of other things. XRP Ledger being used for settlement, for prime brokerage, Ripple Prime. Now, there's all sorts of stuff that's happening, obviously. Tokenization of real world assets. XRP is a part of that. There's no flip the switch moment, though, and that's always been stupid. I've always mocked it. And so here is Solana rightfully mocking that. Honestly, I thought it was kind of funny. But this is top shelf trolling. That is what they are, trolling the XRP community here. Full stop. That's my belief anyway. And then they have this screen grab here of the bearable guy 123 there. The stupid meme. This has been circulating for like the last nearly 8 years, I guess, at this point. And then they modified it so that Solana's at the top and then XRP's down here and Bitcoin's over there. They're just trolling. It's kind of funny. This is a well-known XRP meme. If you're not familiar, just Google it. If you're brand new, you don't know, but if you've been here for more than 5 seconds, you do know. And it's just freaking funny. It just is. It's just, they're absolutely trolling here. And this was seen 2.1 million times. 2.1 million times. Actually, let's see, how many times was the other one seen? This one was only seen 4.4 million times. That makes sense. This one's got a graphic on it. It is funny, though. It is funny. Okay, so some people in the community are speculating that there's a reason that Solana is doing this. Is there some sort of underlying reason for all of this? Is there going to be some sort of a partnership between anyone working on Solana and Ripple? Is Solana going to start using the XRP ledger for something? Well, I don't have any news on that, and anything that anyone says on that, it's pure speculation. Some people think the answer is yes, and fine, but it is just speculation at this point, just to be clear. Even if Solana is hinting at an actual development, which I'm doubtful of, but even if they are, it's just a guess. It is just a guess at that point, and it's fine if you want to guess that there is something or isn't. Perfectly fine. I've taken one side of that. Could be wrong, but I doubt there's going to be more there. This is one of the things that was touted as a potential reason here. Bank XRP responded to Solana when they wrote 589 and shared a screen grab from somebody named Loki, because there was a post from November 20th, 2025 from Solana. They simply wrote, "Something big is coming," and this guy named Loki reposted that and wrote, "XRP and RLUSD will route from XRPL and XRPL EVM to Solana through Axelar starting this December. Final ITS audit updates are underway. After that, the Axelar Solana integration should be ready to go." And so that's what this guy says. And there's been, as far as I'm aware anyway, No proof of that. If I'm missing something, just tell me in the comment section. I don't pretend to know everything. I could miss stuff. I'm not aware of that. I didn't see anything through a quick Google search. But anyway, so that screen grab was shared by BankXRP, shared with Solana, and BankXRP wrote the same thing that Loki wrote there. It's on your screen right there. I'm not going to reread it. And so is that true? And BankXRP was just highlighting that as something that would be related to Solana posting 589. Turned out the answer is no. So it looks like BankXRP, based on this post, sent a message to Solana, shared this, and Solana replied with the word false. So BankXRP, to his credit, noted that. He said Solana replied false. So that's not the reason. And if there is something else going on, and something launches and there's fantastic news, I'll celebrate it with the rest of you on my channel. But just based on the timing, the bogus Cointelegraph title article, and then Solana coming immediately out of the woodwork to start trolling us, like, I mean, come on, the timing of that makes me think, come on, there's like nothing to this. Now, I hope there is. I'd prefer if there is. I'm highly skeptical of that being the case. That's all I'm saying there. But either way, Cointelegraph, I mean, just, you lying liars. It's just a fake story. It is a fake headline. They're claiming a Ripple employee said stuff that he absolutely didn't say, and they don't care. It's been days now, and they're just leaving it up. And now we have Solana trolling us. I wouldn't change a thing. Good times, folks. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.